Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Bikram Kishore Beura from IIT Delhi. Today we are going to talk on module programming languages from the paper Information Communication Technology for Libraries. So students, let's see what we are going to learn from this module. The primary objective of this course is to familiarize the students with the need of computer languages and programming languages. This course emphasizes on different categories of programming languages, including uh, language translators, assemblers, interpreters, compilers, and it also focuses on the basic concept of programming design and the tools which are using for designing the programs such as algorithms, flowchart, etc. So coming to the introduction about this programming language, as we know, computers are used in every field, everywhere in our life, and we can do many things, variety of things by using the computer, and this is possible only because the computers can be programmed to perform specific tasks in the computer. Uh, we have to store the program in the computer's memory, and after storing that program it is possible to use that computer, and the computer will automatically execute that program and it will perform the task. A program is a set of uh, instructions which the computer receives from the user, and then it performs according to the steps available in that program. Coming to the software, a software is a set of related programs that is used to direct the uh, operations of a computer, as well as the documents giving instructions how to use them. A software, when electronically stored in the computer memory, that process is called as installation. Then only it can able to control the physical components of the computer, and it provide instructions to accomplish the specific task. The software is commonly divided into two main categories. One is system software, another one is application software. System software includes many types of software such as operating system, device driver, language translators, and all the utilities that control the basic functions of a computer. Application software that handles a specific task which a user wants to perform, and these tasks can be accounting, word processing, image processing, or any type of work that user want to perform. Software is developed by people known as programmers or software developers who use one or more programming languages, also known as computer languages, for this purpose. The programming language, or also known as computer language, is a coded language used to write instructions or commands that a computer can understand. Like our human languages, each programming language has its own grammar, that is known as syntax, and the syntax is a set of rules that defines the structure of instruction command in a programming language. As you know, each instruction in a programming language is composed of a set of predefined words that are combined according to the syntax of the language. The syntax is nothing but the set of rules which define how to develop instructions in a programming languages. The instructions which are written by a programmer using a programming language, any programming language, that instructions are combinedly called as the source code. The programming language allow a human and a computer to communicate with each other. That means without the programming language, we are not able to communicate with the computer. And the programming languages, by using these programming languages, we are able to control the behavior and output of the computer. We are going to discuss on the topic of history of programming languages. In the history of programming languages, we have seen there are thousands of languages have already been developed, and still many languages are developing or creating every year. So if we will discuss few most important languages which are developed in which year. So coming to that, we have the Fortran language, which is developed in 1957, and this language is particularly used by mathematicians and scientists for mathematical calculations. So continuing with the history of programming languages, we have another language, that is Lisp processing. This language was developed for doing research in artificial intelligence, and this language was developed in the year 1958. Again, another important language called as ALGOL. That language is the first language which is with a formal grammar, and before the ALGOL, the language like Lisp and other languages, they didn't have a proper grammar which could able to describe the instruction of a particular programming languages, and this language was developed in 1960. In 1964, BASIC, this is a very popular language. The expansion is Beginner's All-Purpose Symbolic Instruction Code, and this language was developed with an objective to teach the students how to program. That means we can able to develop very simple programming or programs by using the basic language. In the year 1966, programming language 1, PL1, that is a common programming language which is having multitasking feature. Multitasking feature means by using this language we can develop multitasking applications. In 1968, another language known as Pascal, it was developed by using or combining the features of three languages, COBOL, Fortran and ALGOL. In the development of programming languages, the 1972 is very important, because the C language, which is very popular in the field of programming language, and that is developed in this year, and that language was developed by Dennis Ritchie, and he developed this language for developing the Unix operating system. In 1983, the advanced version of C language, that is C++ language, was developed, and this language is having some important features like object oriented features. In the year 1991, a graphical version of basic language, that is Visual Basic, was developed. The Java language, which is very widely used, and it is actually the truly object oriented language, and unlike C++, C++ is a object oriented language, but it is having only few features of object oriented programming, but Java language is a truly object oriented programming language, and this was developed in 1995. Then after Java, in the decade of 2000s, many programming languages were developed, and these languages were basically for internet programming, and this happened because the popularity of World Wide Web and the popularity of the age of internet. So due to this, many advanced programming languages such as Delphi, Python, PHP, JavaScript, .NET, C#, Swift, these languages were developed basically for internet programming. Coming to the topic labels of programming languages, we are going to discuss about the different types of programming languages and how it has been categorized in different labels. Computer programs which were written in earliest time were based on the underlying internal architecture of the computer. That means in that time the programmer were writing the programs keeping in view the internal architecture of the computer, because the computer understands only the binary system, that is only zeros and one. That time programmers has to write the programs in form of only zeros and one, and that type of programming is known as machine language programming or machine coding. Then over the years, computer languages have developed or evolved from machine language to different types of other languages like high level languages such as Java, C, C++, VB. The machine language, also known as the computer's native language, as computer understands only the machine language. Continuing with the different levels of programming languages, the binary machine language is usually defined at the lowest level, whereas the highest level is the human language such as English. And the languages which are very close to machine, they are called lower level, and the languages which are very close to human languages, they are called as high level languages. And high level languages, that is basically favors the human and favors the programmers to develop the program, and those languages which are written in machine or low level languages, they are very close to the machine, and that they are easily understood by the machine. Based on this concept, that is the closeness to the human beings or closeness to the computer or machine, languages can be divided into two groups, that is low level languages and high level languages. The low level languages, which are a type of computer language that deals with the hardwares of the computer directly. That means the programs which are written in low level languages are very close to the hardware architecture of the computer. These low level languages again can be categorized into machine language and assembly language. And as we know, machine language uses only the binary system, that is zeros and one, or the binary codes. These binary codes is directly understood by the computers, and if a program is written in machine language, the computer can directly execute these programs and perform the task. But the writing programs in machine language by using 0 and 1, it's a very tedious and a complex job. Low level languages are the programs written in machine language, and that is a sequence of bits or machine codes that directly controls a processor, and it can use to develop programs for add, compare, move data from one place to another, and all these type of programming was done keeping in view the basic architecture of the system, and this language is called as machine language. And in case of assembly language, that is another type of low level language, that some structured commands such as mnemonics, for example add, add for add, that is for addition, move, that is for movement of data from one location to another location. So this type of mnemonics were used in assembly language in place of the binary numbers, and this allow the human beings to read this code easier as compared to the machine language, and to convert these codes or translate these codes into the machine form, some type of translators were used, that is known as assemblers, and it is necessary because the computer understands only the machine codes. The low level languages have many advantages as well as disadvantages. The advantages are the computational speed is very fast in case of low level languages, because the computer understands the machine form directly, and these languages are machine dependent. That means a program written in machine language or assembly language can run in only that machine, it cannot run in another machine, and these languages are directly or easily understandable by the computer. This is the advantage of low level languages. Then coming to the disadvantages, developing program in machine language is very time consuming as it includes only zeros and one, and the error correction is very complex and tedious process. So after discussing about the lower level languages, we are coming to high level languages. High level languages are designed to make programming much simpler, easier, and less error prone, and these are easily understandable and readable by the programmer as well as the user. So if any time the programmer wants to make any changes in that program in high level languages, so it is easier for the programmer to make any modifications. And these high level languages, uh, when it is written by using some English like instructions, uh, that program is called as a source code, and these source code, when converted into the machine code, then only they can be executed by the computer. And when writing this source code using any high level languages, the programmer does not need to know the basic architecture of the computer, as what happens in case of machine languages or other low level languages such as assembly language. The programs written in high level languages, they are machine independent. This is very uh, important benefit of high level languages. That means a program written in high level languages can be run in different machines without any modifications or with a little change in that program. High level languages have also many advantages as well as disadvantages. The advantages of high level languages are, this is very simple to adapt due to English like structure of statements. That means writing programs in high level languages are very easier, and it is very easy to edit the program if any typing mistake or anything is there. And the programs written in high level languages are very easy to debug and maintain. The disadvantages of high level languages includes, that is, the programs written in high level languages are very less efficient for execution, because first it has to be translated into the object code or the executable form, then only it can able to execute by the computer. So this requires few time for the translation. While in case of low level languages like machine language, there is no need of translation, as the machine understands only the machine language directly. And in case of high level languages, the translator programs such as compiler and interpreter, which are used to translate the language, they also consume some memory in the computer. So in case of high level languages, we require more memory to execute a program as compared to the low level languages. In this figure, the high level language and machine level language, they are linked with each other. The linkage from machine language, that is at the lower level, and the high level languages, that is at the highest level. That is, when the high level languages are to be executed, they have to be come through the compiler or interpreter, and they have to be translated to the machine language form. In between the high level language and machine language, there is another language, that is assembly language, and that assembly language also needs one type of translator, that is assembler. When a program written in assembly language, it needs assembler to translate that program to machine language. So in brief, we can say that any language, that may be assembly language or high level languages, they have to be translated to the machine form before the execution of that particular program. So the linkage between the high level language and machine level languages are always necessary. So we are going to discuss a very interesting topic, that is computer language paradigms. The programming paradigm or computer language paradigm, this is an approach which is employed to develop large computer programs while developing the software. Then this programming paradigm, in earlier time, it was based on a sequence of steps. Only in the instructions were written, and there was no nothing, any type of functions or procedures we are using in that time. But later stage, the programming paradigm was changed, the style of programming was changed by including some advanced features such as logical branching, object orientation, procedural programming, etc. There are different types of computer language paradigms are there. These are of 4 types. One is procedural oriented languages, object oriented languages, logical languages, and functional languages. So the classification of languages based on this programming paradigm. First, the procedural oriented languages. In these languages, the program is explained very clearly with step by step process, and all the steps to accomplish the task are exactly described in the code. In case of object oriented languages, the data and procedure are represented in form of objects, and these objects are interacted with each other through the program to perform a particular task. In case of logical languages, the program is written based on the logic of the problem, and once the logic is developed, it can be used to solve the problem. In case of functional languages, predefined functions are used to solve the problem, and these functions are directly used in the programs to solve the problem. This figure shows different examples of the computer languages in procedural oriented programming languages, object oriented programming languages, logical languages, and functional languages. Under procedural oriented languages, we have languages like Fortran, COBOL, BASIC, C, Pascal, and ADA. Under object oriented languages, we have C, C++, C Sharp, Java, Visual Basic, Smalltalk, etc. And Prolog is an example of logical language. In case of functional languages, we have Lisp and Scheme. These are the 2 languages which are coming under the functional languages. Now we are going to discuss about different language translators. The execution of computer program which is written in assembly language or any high level languages, they need a language translator. In that case, the source code has to be translated into the machine code so that the computer can understand it. So these language translators actually they are a computer program. This is a type of system software that translates a set of code written in one programming language into the functional equivalent of the code in another programming language, and that is without losing the functional or any logical structure in the original code. This figure shows that how source code is translated into object code. First source code, in between translator, then object code. Source code is translated by the translator and converted into the object code, then the object code can be executed by the computer. So there are different types of translators available, as there are different types of languages are there. So different types of translators are used to translate the languages from its source code to object code. In case of assembler, we have, in case of assembly language, we have assembler as a translator which translates assembly language programs into the machine code. In case of high level languages, we have interpreter and a compiler, and these 2 translators translates the high level languages into the machine form. Assembler is a type of language translator that translates assembly language into machine code. The assembly language consists of many mnemonics, that is also known as opcodes, and these opcodes are translated to the machine form, the exact machine code form, then the computer can able to understand that. For example, we have LDA, that is a mnemonic in assembly language. When that is converted into some 0101 bits form, that can be understood by the computer, and this conversion is done by using the translator assembler. Assembler is having many advantages and disadvantages. The advantages, these are very fast in translating the assembly language into machine code, and assembly code is often very efficient and fairly easy to understand than machine codes due to use of English like mnemonics. The disadvantages of assembler, that is often incompatible with different hardware, and lots of assembly code is needed to relatively doing the simple tasks. So after discussing about the assembler, that is a type of translator for assembly language, we are going to discuss about compilers. So a compiler is a type of translator, that is also a computer program that translates the source code written in high level languages into some executable program form that can run in any computer. So any program written in high level languages that needs this compiler for its execution. When a compiler executes, it analyzes all the language statements in the source code, then it builds a machine language object code. Once the object code is formed, that can be executed by any computer. So after a program is compiled, we are getting the object code, and then the form that the processor can understand this object code, the instructions in the object code, and it can execute that object code to perform a specific task. The advantages and disadvantages of a compiler. Coming to the advantages, it produces executable file, therefore the program can be run without the need of source code. So once the source code is converted into some object code or in form of some executable file, then we don't need the source code, we need only that executable file to solve that particular problem. The disadvantages of a compiler is, that is, the object codes need to be produced before the final executable file. This can be slow the process. In case of compiler, the source code must be 100% correct before creating that executable file. If there is some typing mistake, a simple typing mistake in that source code, then the programmer has to correct that source code to 100%, then only it can able to compile that source code into the object code. Another type of language translator which is used by the high level languages, that is called as interpreter. So interpreter is also a computer program that executes the source program in step by step. That means one instruction is executed, then another instruction, it comes to another instruction and again executed. So the output of interpreter, we are not getting any object code as it happens in case of compiler, but only we are getting the result of the program. Interpreters also having some advantages and disadvantages. The advantages of interpreter, that is easier to debug than a compiler. In case of interpreter, as it interprets the instructions step by step, so if any mistake in that particular instruction is there, so it is easy to debug that by the programmer, and it is easier to create multi-platform code, as each different platform would have an interpreter to run the same code. So programs which are interpreted by interpreter, they are platform independent. Coming to the disadvantages, always the source code required to execute the program. So in case of compiler, once the object code or exe file is created, we don't need the source code to execute the program. But in case of interpreter, as it translates program step by step, always we need the source code to execute the program, and interpreters are generally very slower as compared to the compiler due to the per line translation method. Now we are going to discuss about some programming design tools, that is algorithm and flowchart. Algorithm is a basic tool which can be used for any type of programming. It includes a step by step process that terminates after a finite number of steps for solving a particular problem. That means in a algorithm we are describing a problem in a step by step process, then that problem is solved by the computer, or then that problem is converted into or written in some programming languages, and then the computer can able to solve that problem in the steps what is mentioned in that algorithm. Then these algorithms can be expressed by using any type of natural language such as English, French, or it can be also developed by using the programming languages such as BASIC, C, C++, etc. Algorithms are one of the most basic tools that is used to develop any type of problem solving logic that a computer requires to solve a problem. This is an example of algorithm to find out the sum of a list of given positive integers. So as we know, algorithms are written in step by step manner. This algorithm is having 8 steps. The step 1, we should always write the stat. Then step 2, we have taken a variable, that is sum, that is we have initialized it into 0. Then step 3, we are asking the user to input a value, and in step 4 we are checking that value if it is a positive integer or not. That means if it is less than 1, then it is not a positive integer. In case of less than 1, value is input by the user, it will go to the step 7, that means it will display the output, then program will stop. If the value input by the user is greater than -1, that means if it is a positive integer, it will go to the next step, that is step 5. It will add that value with the previous value, that means sum is equal to sum plus value. Then it will go to the step 3 again to get another value, and again it will continue with step 4, 5, 6, create a circular chain, circular loop, then when the user will input any value which is less than 1, then the program will come out of that loop and it will stop. Flowchart is another type of tool which can able to use to design a program. It is a diagrammatic representation of the algorithm with the help of symbols, some predefined symbols. Flowchart is not any language specific. The basic advantage of flowchart is it is not uh, specific to any particular language. Once a flowchart is developed, so it can be coded by using any type of programming language. And in case of flowchart, the programming steps also, the program is developed by using different predefined symbols, and the steps are also followed as in case of algorithms, and these symbols are linked with each other by using some arrows showing the flow of the direction of the steps. This table shows the different predefined symbols such as terminal, initialization, input, output, and process. These symbols are used to develop a flowchart. The terminal symbol used in the start and end, the initialization symbol used to initialize any variable, the input output symbol used for input data or output the result, the process symbol is used to for any manipulation of data or calculation of data, that is for any type of assignments, mathematical computations, etc. This figure shows many types of symbols for flowchart, that is flow lines, one page connector, off page connector, and a decision symbol. The flow lines, which is used to show the logical sequence of the program. One page connector used to create a cross reference from one process to another process on the same page. Off page connector, this is used to create a cross reference from one process to another process, that is from one page to another page. If a process is available in one page and another process is available in another page, then this connector can be used to connect these two processes. The decision symbol is used to process the conditions using relational operators. For example, less than, greater than, equal, not equal. So this type of decisions is described by using the decision symbol. The algorithm we discussed earlier to find out the sum of a list of given positive integers can be represented using a flow chart, and that flow chart is displayed in this figure. The start symbol is used to start the program, then the process symbol that is used to initialize the variable, that is sum is equal to 0. Then the input symbol to get a value from the user. Then after getting the value, the decision symbol has been used to compare, that is if the value is less than equal to 1, that condition, if that condition is satisfied, then the program will go to the output and it will stop. If that condition is not satisfied, that means the value is a positive integer, it will add the value, again it will go to the input symbol, that is get a value. So here also there are 8 steps as in case of algorithm, and this is represented by using some predefined symbols which are used to develop the flowcharts. So students, let's summarize what we have learned from this module. In this module we have discussed about the need of computer programming language, the different types of programming languages such as high level languages, low level languages, and again low level languages we discussed about machine language and assembly languages, and we have also discussed about different types of programming paradigm such as procedural language programming, object oriented programming, functional programming, logical programming, and we have also discussed about the programming design and the tools which are used for programming design such as algorithm and flowchart. What are the merits and demerits in developing program in algorithm, developing program in flowchart. So coming to the future of the programming language, as we know, programming languages are available. There are plenty of programming languages are available, and many new programming languages are developed from time to time, and research is also going on how to develop different types of programming languages in the current web technologies and in mobile applications also. In programming languages in these days are actually becoming much and much simpler as we are using more human like languages such as English, and as you know, uh, the language as it is getting more human like, so it is very easier to learn the programming languages and very easier to write programs in programming languages.